Brothers and sisters, peace be with you. Today we are reading from 1 Samuel chapter 19, where Pastor Joshua sharing the relationship, the tension between Saul and David was more obvious. Saul really want to kill David. Really want to kill him. He start to kill David, start to pursue David and kill him, try to kill him. The title for today is By God's Protection We Have Peace. By God's protection we have peace. That's the title for today. By God's protection we have peace. From David's angle, it's a positive angle perspective. On the passive side, without the Spirit of God, we are without strength. That's from Saul's angle. To us, it's important. Both angles are important. We have to believe that we have the Spirit of God, the presence of God, His protection. Whatever situation we are in, we shall have peace, just like David. On the opposite, if we are like Saul, even though we have strength, without the Spirit of God, he had no strength left. He had strength, but he was unable to accomplish anything. Let's go into 1 Samuel chapter 19. I want to divide this chapter into 2 paragraphs. 4 times of pursuing and trying to kill David. And it's divided into 2 paragraphs. Verse 1 to 17 is the first paragraph. So Saul sent the killing order, but he was unable to kill David. He gave the killing order, but he was unable to kill David. He was as a king, he gave this killing order, and yet David was still at peace. 3 events here. Let's focus. Verse 1 to 7 is the first event. Verse 1. Now Saul spoke to Jonathan, his son, and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted greatly in David. Saul spoke to Jonathan, his son, and to all his servants. Verse 1. So he sent his royal command, royal decree. What was it? They should kill David. They should kill David. Not only Saul was to kill David, he commanded Jonathan and all his servants, they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted greatly in David. We shall have peace. That's what we are experiencing. So do not fear. The evil one does not have the Spirit of God. He is powerless. Let's go back here. So he discreet to his son and servant that they should kill David. Go and take David down. And yet here, Jonathan, his heart turned towards David. It's a great contrast here, wasn't it? His father said, kill David. He sent the royal decrees. And yet his son did not agree to his father's doing. when they were trying to pursue the Philistines, Jonathan arose and then killed some Philistines, but his father stopped him. And at the end, Saul was unable to kill all the Philistines when they could. And here, Jonathan was wise. He stood by, he sided with David. So, as a king, as a father, but as a king, as a father, he was unable to override the heart of Jonathan. Jonathan did not agree with his father's doing. So Jonathan told David, saying, "My father Saul seeks to kill you. Therefore, please on your guard until morning and stay in secret place and hide. Hide in the field. And I will speak with my father about you." Verse 3. That you hide yourself. You hide yourself first. My father told everyone to kill you. Now you hide in the field. I will speak with my father about you. Find a secret place and hide. I will speak to my father first, then I will talk to you. Then what I observe, I will tell you. Verse 3. I will definitely tell you the result. Well, should you be a fugitive or can you return? I will tell you. I really hope that my father will change his mind. Now the royal decree has been sent. It's been issued. The killing order has been given. Now Jonathan arose and spoke to his father for David. Verse 4. Thus Jonathan spoke well of David to Saul his father. Spoke well of David to Saul his father. And said to him, "Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he has not sinned against you, and because his works has been very good towards you." Verse 4. His work has been very good towards you. And he tried his best to kill the Philistines. Verse 5. And the Lord brought about a great deliverance for all Israel. You saw it and rejoiced. He killed Goliath, remember? He killed the Philistine. And restored many cities and villages. We pursued the Philistines. When did that ever happen to us? It was the Lord who brought about a great deliverance. He did not sin against you. And he is now used by God to deliver Israel. Why then will you sin against innocent blood to kill David without a cause? Sin against innocent blood. God will punish you. Why did you kill someone without a cause? Someone who is good towards you, someone who is used by God to deliver you. Why do you sin against God by shedding innocent blood? Why are you against God? So Saul heeded the voice of Jonathan, and Saul swore, "As the Lord lives, he shall not be killed." Verse 6. Saul really wanted to kill David, but he was convinced by Jonathan and changed his mind here. Then Jonathan called David, verse 7, and Jonathan told him all these things. So Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as in time past. We can see the wisdom and the strength of Jonathan. From this event, we can see it brought good result. Verse 1 to 8 is the first event. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines and struck them with a mighty blow, and they fled from him. Verse 8. Jonathan was was against royal decree, his father's order. He did not kill David. Saul said, "You should kill David." Saul, Jonathan, and all his servants. You should kill David. That's the royal decrees. But now he saw David. Jonathan saw David, but did not kill David. Ask him to hide, and he convinced Saul not to kill David. Here, Jonathan acted against the royal decree. The second thing, he did not side with his father. Because his father said, so he has been ascribed 10,000. The kingdom. What more can he have but the kingdom? Saul knew really well that David will replace Saul. When David will replace Saul, that means that David will replace Jonathan. But Jonathan delighted greatly in David. He didn't care about his own interests. Jonathan did not care about his own interests. He even went against his father's command. He may even not doing his duty as a prince, as a commander of the army. His father wanted to kill David. He did not act upon the order. Oh, we have a lot of thought on this. Put it in. If you were Jonathan, put yourself in the Jonathan's shoes. What should we do in today's present situation? What should we do? What is our bottom line? Oh yes, we must fulfill our duties. But as God's people, as the people of God's kingdom, from Jonathan's this episode, our bottom line is whether we listen to God or not. Our bottom line is whether we follow God or not. Jonathan, right here, he was following God, risking his own life, risking that he may offend his father. He even put aside his own interests as he sided with God. Brothers and sisters, that is what God's truth is telling us today. Do we listen to God? Or do we listen to man? Whoever that is. Maybe that's your father, that's the king. But Jonathan put God above his own father, above his own king. God first, people second, then the earth. Jonathan laid down the earth as his own interests, right? His hope of becoming a king, he would be king. He laid aside all these interests as gain. He put his father's order under God. May God help us. We hold on to the core values given by God. God first, people second, then the earth. This is the first core value. We must get the priority right. Then everything will work for you. I remember there was an action when I preached on God first, people second, then the earth. God is above us. Can you see my hands above my head? Man is in the middle, and the earth is under us. God first, people second, then the earth. If you can see on the screen, imagine that is the earth, the tissue box. God is above. God first, people second, then the earth. If we put the earth first, the earth is above everything. The earth first, then people, then God. God is under earth and people, right? What will happen then? What would it be like? The earth is above your head. That's not God. God is gracious. God is the creator of all things. Now he is under your feet. You despise God. You rejected God. Your self-interest is more important than God. Then the earth is above you. You should rule over the earth, but now you are being ruled over by the earth. Today, many people's jobs, they put their jobs above everything, above family, above their people. And they lost God. They lose God. You are being ruled over by your job, by your work. God created us to rule over the earth. But now you put the earth over your head, then the earth rules over you. A lot of time, our work view is cursed. We are under the bondage of earth. What you do, you hate the profession you are holding. That's why we turn holiday into holiday. Why we turn holiday into holiday? Because we work too hard, so hard. So we try our best to play hard. We work too hard and we play very hard. Then we turn the holiday ordained by God into a holiday. May God help us. We must listen to God. Put God first in everything. Put people as the second, and our job the third. Then you will be prosper in everything you do. The second event, now we turn to verse 9 and 10. The second event. Now the distressing spirit from the Lord came upon Saul, and he sat in his house with his spear in his hand. So as he sat in his house with his spear in his hand, and David was playing music with his hand. That just as chapter 18, verse 10 and 11. Now David returned to the palace, royal palace. So, Jonathan spoke well of David before his father. Now he restored to his position. And yet, Saul was still being in the bondage, disturbed by this distressing spirit. He had big headache, strong headache. So he said, David, come and play music for me. When David was playing music, so Saul was manifesting, right? Then he got the spear in his hand again. This time, with all his strength, he sought to pin David to the wall with the spear. Verse 10, yet he slipped away from Saul's presence, and he drove the spear into the wall. He used all his might. So David fled and escaped that night. Verse 10. So David fled and escaped that night. The ministry of David before Saul, he did it in trembling. He knew Saul wanted to kill him. He also knew the Spirit of God had departed from Saul. He knew it. David knew. When Samuel anointed David, the Spirit of God came upon David. David knew. In chapter 16, that's what we read. But David had to wait. He continued to minister to Saul. He knew Saul wanted to kill him. When Saul trying to do it, to act it out, he escaped. He had done absolutely nothing. He could only escape and flee. And he succeeded in doing so, because the Lord God protected David. When a king wanted to kill David, by the Spirit of God, he had peace. That's what I said. David had this special martial art. It's a Chinese martial art fiction. It's like a I wouldn't know how to say it. Never mind. So with all his might, trying to pin him to the wall, but Saul failed. Don't worry about my martial art thing. David didn't know that. But he knew God. David knew God. That is most important. God protected him, right? It's the same today. Today in this society, we are in many dangers. Dangers are lurking everywhere. In social movement, danger was lurking. During the pandemic, danger is also lurking. We do not need to learn any martial art. No. But the most important of all, we must know God. God will definitely protect you. If you put God first in everything you do, even in financial distress, you cannot have any business. But in God, business will come to find you. God will protect you from loss and lead you and guide you. Maybe, you turn around. Your company will change the form of business. Then you will know what is best to do in this current situation. God will arrange everything to happen. Do not lose the Spirit of God. Another event. Verse 11 to 17, that's the third event in this chapter. That Michal helped David to run away. Three times Saul sent people to kill David. So the first one is to send people to send messenger to David's house to watch him and to kill him in the morning. Verse 11. And he sent the people into the house, want to kill him. Three times Saul failed. At the end, so Michal is the newlywed of David. They were deeply in love, right? Here, Michal also went against the order of her own father and helped David, let David down through a window. David, go run away because my father is trying to kill you. So David ran from the royal palace back to his house. Then Saul sent messages to David's house to watch him and kill him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him and then let him down through a window and told him to run away. And then took an image and laid it in the bed, put a cover on of a goat's hair for his head and covered it with clothes. The messenger saw this. So then the messenger told Saul. Verse 15, then Saul sent the messenger back to see David, saying, bring him up to me in the bed that I may kill him. But when the messengers had come in, there was the image in the bed with a cover of goat's hair for his head. Verse 16. And then verse 17, the father said to the daughter, why have you deceived me like this? Verse 17. And Michael answered, he said to me, let me go. Why should I kill you? The daughter deceived her own father to protect herself. She knew if she had told Saul the truth, Saul would have killed her. So Saul sent the killing order, gave the killing order, yet he did not kill. He was unable to kill David. Jonathan helped David. Saul was unable to kill David even in the palace by his own hand. And then he sent messengers to David's house to kill David. The messengers failed because his own daughter helped David. A person without the Spirit of God, whatever plan you have come up with fails. But with the help of God, with God, everything you do succeed. Here, David had done nothing, right? But he had peace. Now, don't say that, okay, I have the Spirit of God. I follow God. I fear nothing. No. It doesn't mean that. We need to be wise. Doesn't mean that we should not be cautious. He doesn't say, I, David, have the Spirit of God. Who are you, Saul? Why you follow me, Saul? Come kill me. Pin me to the wall. But if Saul did pin and he was not running, if he had not fled and escaped, he would have died. With the Spirit of God, we still have wisdom. We need to run, flee and escape. Don't think that, I have the Spirit of God, then we run towards danger. No. Then that's idiots doing. We must be wise and protect ourselves. It doesn't mean that when we protect ourselves, we do not trust God enough. We do not have some twisted theology. Twisted theology is from Satan. That's why Satan said to Jesus, if you are the Son of God, jump from here. The angel will support you. That's temptation. We have God. We know God protects us. But do not tempt God. Do not put God to test. Hi, so come, try me. Pin me. He would die. He would definitely die. Do not do such stupid thing. Here, David did nothing. But he did flee from Saul. Yes, God protected him. But he need to flee. Jonathan, Micah, all help him. He need to run. He need to flee. Saul could do nothing. It doesn't mean that you just, head towards to be killed. So David ran for his life. Verse 18 to 24, the second paragraph. Saul tried to kill David himself, but he failed. In the first paragraph, he sent the order, he sent the decree, but this time he did it himself. So David fled and escaped and went to Samuel at Ramah, verse 18, and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and stayed in Naioth. And they stayed in Naioth. They were hiding from Saul. And now it was told Saul, saying, take note, David is in Naioth in Ramah. Then Saul sent messengers to take David 3 times. Sent messengers to take David 3 times. Verse 20 to 24. Verse 20 to 22. 3 times Saul sent messengers. 3 times he sent messengers. And something strange happened as the messenger was sent to David. They all saw Samuel standing as leader over a group of prophets prophesying. Samuel standing as leader over them. And the messengers went into that area. They will prophesy. The Spirit of God came upon the messengers of Saul. And the Spirit of God came upon them, verse 20, the messengers, and they also prophesied. Then Saul sent other messengers. They prophesied likewise. Then Saul sent messengers again the 3rd time, and they prophesied also. Messengers here, they are the assassin, the royal assassin. You may think I've watched so much the TV drama and the movie. The elite assassin, the killer who are good at it, okay? This assassin, trying to kill them. Oh, they're a killer. And the Spirit of God came upon them. And they were unable to carry any weapons, all dropped. And they prophesied. They could not control themselves. First batch of messages, the second batch of messages, the third batch of messages, same. They all went back to Saul. Oh, no, I can't do it. No, I can't. Then Saul said, okay, the king myself should go ahead. So he and then he went with a group of people in order to kill David. And he went there, he saw David when he was about to kill him. And then the Spirit of God was upon him as well. And he went on and prophesied until he came to Naioth in Ramah. And he also stripped off his clothes and prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and lay down naked all that day and all that night. Verse 24. In the beginning, when Saul received anointing, and then Samuel said to him, the Spirit of God is on you. Now you put forth your hands and act. As the situation demands. 3 signs given to Saul, right? 3 signs came to pass. You are to walk in the way of God. But Saul did not walk in the way of God. You will prophesy as well, because the Spirit of God shall be upon you. When the Spirit of God was upon him, whatever you come across, put your hands, go forth. And do as the situation demands. And whatever situation, your hands go forth. Because God protects you. God is with you. That's what Samuel told Saul. That was when Saul was anointed, he was powerful. But now, right here, he did not walk the way of God. He shed innocent blood trying to kill David. He wanted to manipulate God. So he opposed God. And the Spirit of God, boom, came upon him mightily. Not to give him strength. The Spirit of God came upon him so that he had no strength left. He was unable to put on clothes, lay down naked all that night and all that night, all that day and all that night, prophesying, unable to control himself. He was completely without strength. He wanted to kill David. He really wanted to kill David, but he had no strength left. David was right before him. He was unable to kill David. But he just kept prophesying. There's a picture here. He was stripped off his clothes. Someone who had no strength left. I would say that it's the evil king who had no strength left. He was demon possessed. Without the Spirit of God, he had no strength left. Brothers and sisters, do not lose the Spirit of God. Brothers and sisters, on the opposite, on the contrary, with the presence of God, we prosper in everything we do. I remember Psalm 1. We go back to Psalm 1. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf shall not wither. And whatever he does shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Brothers and sisters, Psalm 1 verse 1 to 4. If we are the wicked, we are the ungodly, we lose the Spirit of God, we are just like chaff. We are absolutely strengthless. In the example of Saul, he stripped off his clothes, prophesied before Samuel. He was unable to do what he wanted to do. He had no strength left, couldn't even put on his clothes. And yet David, by God, with God, he went to fight the war. He always won. David didn't do anything. He simply fled and escaped, ran away from Saul. Saul was trying his best to chase him. He was unable to do that. Even if he did see him face to face, he was unable to kill him. By God's protection, we shall have peace. In today's situation, yes, do not lose the Spirit of God. The day is more and more evil. We need to rely more and more of God's presence, His Spirit. If we rely on ourselves, we lose the Spirit of God, we will be miserable. We had no strength left. You think you are wealthy? You think you have a strong bicep, but you can do nothing. Well, it seems like we have nothing, just like David. But we have God. We have protection. We are protected. We will be prosper in everything we do. Amen. May God bless us. That's the end of the message today.